Today we're going to look at solving linear equations. So for the warm-up, can you list the order of operations? So you've probably seen this listed as PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And so the order goes like this. We have parentheses first. And then we have exponents. We have multiplying and dividing. And we have adding and subtracting. Now, multiplying and dividing are really on the same level, and adding and subtracting are on the same. What that means is if you only have multiply or divide left, you go left to right. Same with add and subtract. If you only have add and subtract left over, you go left to right. And they're kind of in the same division here. All right, so our goal today, you should be able to solve a linear equation for a variable such as x. Steps for solving an equation with variables on one side. If possible, combine like terms. In step 2, get the variable by itself by using opposite order of operations. So when we simplify, we go this way. When we're solving, we go the opposite order of operations. So let's take a look at the first example. Solve for a. So first step, combine like terms if possible, but here we have an x and a non-x, so we can't combine. So the second step is we use opposite order of operations. So if you notice on the left-hand side, we have multiply and we have subtract. And if we were to simplify, if we didn't have an x in here, we would go this way. But since we are solving, we're going to go opposite order of operations. We're going to get rid of the subtracting first. So how do you get rid of subtracting? We're going to add. The opposite of subtracting is adding, so we're going to add 12 and do it to each side to keep the equation balanced. We have 6x equals 24, and we're done with subtracting. Now we have to get rid of the multiplying. How do we get rid of the multiplying? We divide. So to get rid of a times 6, we're going to divide by 6, and here x equals 4. We can check our answer by plugging back in and making sure both sides equal 12, so here's our check over here. We have 6 times 4. We'll plug in x is 4 minus 12, and that should equal 12. 6 times 4 is 24. And 24 minus 12 is 12. So you can check all of your answers for solving an equation by plugging back in and making sure both sides are equal. All right, let's go to the next example, solve for b. First step, combine like terms. We have several b's on this side. We have 4b minus 2b plus a b. So be careful, this minus goes with the thing behind it. 4b minus 2b is 2b. 2b plus another b is 3b. So we have 3 b's on the side after we combine like terms. Plus 5 equals 26. After we combine like terms, we look at order of operations. Here we have multiplying and adding. So we're going to go opposite order of operations, get rid of adding first by subtracting 5 from each side. We get 3b equals 21. And we get rid of the multiplying by dividing. Divide each side by 3. So b will be 7. Again, you can check your answer by plugging back in and making sure both sides equal 26. Let's solve for c here. First step, combine like terms. So on the right-hand side, we have 25c minus a 5c. So we have 100 equals, we have 20c. We have negative 10 plus 5, which will leave us with negative 5. Opposite order of operations, we're going to get rid of the minus 5 first. We'll add 5 to each side. We get 105 equals 20c. Divide each side by 20. So let's check our answer, 105 divided by 20. And we get 5.25. And again, we can check our answer by plugging in this 5.25 in for c right here, and then making sure both sides are equal after we simplify. Well, let's check our answer for one of these. All right, solve for d. If you ever have something in the numerator together that's kind of like in parentheses here, so we're going to get rid, we have parentheses, we have, inside the parentheses, there's addition. And then we have division. So when we're solving, we get rid of the division first. What's the opposite of dividing by 2? It's multiplying by 2. So we get 24 equals d plus 5. We'll subtract 5 from each side. We'll get d equals 19. Let's check our answer for this one. So if I plug in 12 equals 19 plus 5 divided by 2, I'll solve this part first. We do the top part first in the fraction. So we would get 24 over 2. And we know that 24 divided by 2 is 12, so we have checked our answer and it works. All right, example 5. We have x divided by 5, so we have division, and we have minus, so we have subtraction. So we go the opposite order of operations. We're going to add 7 first. So get rid of the subtraction first by adding. We have x divided by 5 equals 8. To get rid of a divided by 5, we're going to multiply each side by 5. So x equals 40. Again, you can check your answer by plugging in. 40 divided by 5 is 8. 8 minus 7 equals 1. Let's take a look at example 6. So here we have division by a negative number, and we have subtraction. So again, we go opposite order of operations. We will get rid of the subtraction first by adding 10 to each side. We have x divided by negative 2 equals 3. And then to get rid of a divided by negative 2, we're going to multiply each side by negative 2. I should use a dot here. When we do that, negative 2 divided by negative 2, that cancels. And we have x equals negative 6. And you can check your answer. We have negative 6 divided by negative 2 is 3. 3 minus 10 is negative 7. All right, one more example, and then in class we're going to try this math basketball practice using the Chromebooks. All right, so this one we have multiplying by a fraction, and then we have subtraction. So we're going to go the opposite order of operations. We'll add 4 first to each side. We have 3/4 x equals 12. And then here there's 2 ways to solve. We can get rid of this 3/4 by dividing each side by 3/4, but use parentheses in your calculator or it'll do the wrong order of operations. But we also know this property that if you are to multiply any number by its reciprocal, so reciprocal is when you flip it. The reciprocal of 2 is 1/2. This reciprocal of 3/4 is 4/3. If we multiply by that reciprocal, we're going to get 1, and that's what we want. We want 1x here. So I can multiply each side by 4/3, so you can flip it. So if you're ever multiplying by a fraction to get rid of it, you can multiply by its reciprocal, and we should get the same answer either way. So let me type this in. We should get 16 for an answer. And then you can go ahead and plug in and check your answer. So in class, we'll practice using the Chromebooks, and we'll have some more practice on a worksheet.